got a guy here who's sharing when he knew that his marriage was over. Craziest story I think I've heard in a while. I'm wasting time. Let's get it.
So this is when I knew my marriage to my ex-wife was over. She came to me one day and said, how about we go on a vacation to Maui? You, me, and our 1.5-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
And although the thought of being on an airplane for 10 hours with a screaming toddler and a bad back didn't seem fun, there and back, so we're talking 2 10-hour trips, I could see the value in a trip like that, and I adored my son. So I said, yeah, sure, let's do this. Then she throws me this curveball. My parents want to come too. Well, listen, they'll pay their own way, but they want to come. And instead of getting a hotel out there, we're going to rent a house for 10 days. So you want me to be in a house with your mom
right.
for 10 days. I didn't get along with my mother-in-law. My father-in-law was fine. My mother-in-law, we didn't see eye to eye. So I say to her, look, if I'm going to agree to do this, when we get back, I'm going to need to go on a vacation by myself. South Beach, Bermuda, something.
He needed a vacation from the vacation. He needed a vacation from the vacation.
She's like, what are you talking about? This is a vacation. I'm like, no, it's not. This is work. What you're describing is not a vacation. This is work. If you want me to do this, you got to give me that. She's like, you're being ridiculous. I'm going to book the trip tonight. I'm like, hold on, sister. Hold on. Give me a week. Let me gather some money together and then you can book the trip. She's like, fine. So in that week, I'm on Google actively looking for ways for me to break my own leg. Like, how can I break my leg painlessly, non-weight bearing bone?
I want you guys to think about what he just said right there. Because when I first heard him say that phrase, he said, the next week I was trying to figure out how I was going to break my own leg. I thought he was figuratively speaking. I didn't think he actually meant he was trying to figure out how to actually break his own leg just so he doesn't go on vacation with his wife.
Put that coffee down.
He did not want to drink that coffee. I thought this was insane. If you didn't hear it, listen to it again.
Actively looking for ways for me to break. Let me gather some money together and then you can book the trip. She's like, fine. So in that week, I'm on Google actively looking for ways for me to break my own leg. Like, how can I break my leg painlessly, non-weight bearing bone? And I go to my mom and dad's house and I say to my mom, hey, do you think you could hit me with your car? And I tell her the story and she didn't like my mother-in-law either. She's like, son, if it's come to this, maybe your marriage might be over.
This is nuts. This is nuts. I don't think this is a parody page because Thunderleg24 is his username. I'm going to go check out his page. 5-time fantasy. This doesn't seem like a. Yeah, he has other stories. Getting served divorce papers. Going on vacation with my ex. I actually want to check this one out. This one looks like it has a lot of views. Let's finish up the other one. Crazy. Have you ever? Hold on. Have you ever heard a story like this?
With your car, and I tell her the story, and she didn't like my mother-in-law either. She's like, son, if it's come to this, maybe your marriage might be over. And ultimately, we didn't go on the trip. My wife found my search history and saw I was looking for ways to break my own leg, and she also saw some webcam stuff in there that maybe I shouldn't have had. But that's neither here nor there. And yeah, the marriage was over soon after.
This is nuts. This is crazy. Hey guys, so this was recorded after I actually reacted to this video the first time. I've been thinking about this situation over and over again, laughing about it, but also thinking about it and thinking to myself, this was a very weak move on his part. How weak do you have to be as a man to not be able to say no to your wife? No, I am not doing this, and have to resort to hurting yourself. You got to be able to tell your woman no and not fear the consequences so much that you're willing to physically harm yourself. So I've been thinking about that. You're willing to physically harm yourself instead of telling and looking at that woman and saying, your wife, and saying no. I'm not going there if your mother-in-law is going to be there. That's not a vacation. It is what it is. And then dealing with the burden of that. He didn't want to deal with that. He was looking for a way out. The more I think about that, the more I want other men to know that that is a cowardly way out. Yes, I don't care if you don't like what you're hearing right now. I don't care if you don't like what you're hearing right now. And if you do support this type of a reaction and want to spend time arguing, going back and forth and trying to justify it, I don't even have time. Do I think that he should be able to express himself and actually share what he was going through? Yeah, sure, but you're also still exposed to other people's criticism, like in this situation. There is no way in hell I would advise a young man who was asking me to deal with the situation of a girl he was dating and condition him to deal with these situations by literally hurting himself because he's unable to tell a woman no. It would never happen. So the more I think about this, I'm like, yo, this was a weak move in my opinion.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Let's check out a few of these comments. Top comment says, don't give X access to you. Be firm and solid by saying no. This another person here says, this guy reminds me of that one guy on 90 Day Fiance. Says, which one? Mike Burke. Let me see. Mike Burke. Oh, shit. Kind of do look similar. This is cousin. Hold on. I'm about to bring it up here on screen so you guys can see. So this is who they're saying he looks like. Kind of. Yeah, I can see it. This commenter says, try flying the family to Nova Scotia for a family vacation, and she lets it out that she wants a divorce so she can be with her new unemployed ex-con. What is it with these wives divorcing their husbands for a convict? And listen, I've said plenty of times on this channel that I don't look at somebody's criminal history depending, and think that like your criminal history is who you are. There seems to be this like pattern with a lot of divorced women going after like bums, right? I'm not talking about somebody who's fixed their life and now they're married and now they're good. No. Straight bums, like ex-wife, leaves for guy who literally has no job and is struggling. What do you guys think about this? This commenter says, learn to say no. He should have said no. At this point, man, you got to be able to say no. At this point, oh yeah, we were going to check out his getting served divorce papers video. Let's check it out.
When I got served divorce papers by my soon-to-be ex-wife, I had this awful fear that I was going to have to spend a ton of money to find a lawyer for myself. I began making phone calls around the area. Nobody would even have a conversation with me for less than a $2,000 retainer. So I didn't want to spend that kind of money, so I got really upset. And then I read the paperwork of what I was sent. Her lawyer, first of all, misspelled my last name twice, which is her last name too, my ex-wife. So there's no excuse for that. And two, she listed our date of marriage as 2001. We got married in 2011. These are minor details, but this really went to prove that her lawyer was not detail-oriented and was sloppy. So I kind of felt a lot better about things. When things between my ex-wife and I calmed down in terms of emotion, I went to her and said, how about you and I have a conversation together around a kitchen table and figure out the custody arrangement and the child support? She said, fine. So for 4 hours, we hammered that out. We came out with a dollar figure that was good for me and her. And we did the whole, you have them this holiday, I have them that holiday. And we came to an agreement.
Right.
What else was there? We had 2 community assets together. The house, which there was nothing I was going to be able to do about that. It was going to be a 50-50 split. I was just going to have to eat that. And the furniture.
And I'm assuming that's because both of their names are on that house.
Furniture. So we walked around the house and pretended to like every piece of furniture we had no interest in order to get the stuff we really wanted. It's like, no, you can have the bed, but I really want that sofa. Okay, fine, you can have the sofa. The only thing that was real fear for me was my sports card collection. I was always afraid she was going to try and go after that because I had like graded Jordan rookie card, Reggie Jackson, Roger Staubach. But I had a nuclear option. She had a big 401k and I didn't. So I always knew I could play that ace up my sleeve if she ever played the sports card thing. She never did. So the day of the divorce, I walk into court. I don't have a lawyer. I'm feeling a little odd about that. I meet her lawyer coming out of the bathroom and she had corduroy pants on and coffee stains on her pants. So I'm like, okay, this is not going to be bad.
See, if your lawyer has coffee stains on the pants, then, you know, it means something. It does mean something. People think presentation doesn't matter. It does. It does matter. And by the way, this is a great example for a lot of guys and women who think it doesn't matter, that people do look at you and judge you based on how you present yourself. And good luck on trying to change the world and everybody else. Be angry all you want. Beat your chest. It is what it is. Let's keep listening.
So I go in front of the judge. I answer 5 questions. Yes. He hits the gavel and said, I'm divorced. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty. I'm free at last.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad at all. It seems like in most cases, attorneys do advise, if you're able to, at least the good ones, if you're able to work things out with the person who you're divorcing, then that's the route that you should take. It's the cheapest route for sure. Top comment says, who wears corduroy pants to court? He responded and says, someone who is bad at her job. And somebody else here says, who even wears corduroy period anymore? I don't even hate them, but no one wears them. Corduroy pants. You know who used to wear corduroy pants? My dad. Back in the day, right? That was a back in the day thing, and I haven't seen him since. And I'll probably make fun of him if I saw him wear him today. This comment says, half of a 401k is yours whether she wants to split it or not. And he says, I let it go. This is interesting because I think a lot of people are going to be like, why would you do that? This person says, I mean, it's not his money. Let's be honest. Nah. See? Somebody else here says, it does not matter. The law is the law. This person says, right, but just because the law says you can doesn't mean you should. Marriage laws are stupid as it is. That's why a lot of women are able to take everything from a man because of him. Here's the thing. You will never see these conversations being had within a woman's group chat comment section where she's expressing that she let something go. First of all, she's not letting the 401k go, no. And you're not going to get somebody who's saying, you took too much. This just shows you how men are less greedy when it comes to splitting these assets. Somebody else who says, what do you mean? No one would have a conversation for less than 2K. No one does consults. I was curious about that because the first thing I thought was, usually a first consult is free. But maybe he actually meant after the initial, like 30-minute consultation, right? Somebody else here says she was probably very happy to give the cards to you if it meant keeping the 401k. He says that Jordan card by 2020 was worth 60 grand. It isn't worth that today, but in 2020, during the peak of COVID, it was sky high. Now, probably not worth that much anymore. Somebody else here says, the moral of the story is you were paying attention, good on you. Yeah. I also remember the story of the attorney who said she went through a divorce. This is an attorney. And she said she just did the math really quickly and said, yo, I'm not even going to go the lawyer route. It'd be cheaper for me to pay this person and come to an agreement because she took her emotions out of the situation, which a lot of people cannot do and end up spending an arm and a leg.